Okay, I'd say that's our cue.
Yeah. For all they did, for all Chitose sacrificed, we need to do our job.
Definitely. Makes me feel like we gotta, especially after seeing it for ourselves.
Oh yeah, I got a real fire burning now. I'll say, our boy Ichiban sure knows how to pull it off, huh?
Why are you looking at me?
No reason.
Sounds like we're ready. Fine, just so long as we don't get cocky.
Sure thing. Time to roll, Kiryu-san.
Yeah. Got it.
Smells like something good's cooking, Chief.
I've got nothing up your alley today. Hard enough just to get a meal round here.
I understand, but I'm also confident you'll pull through. You know I pay well for even the tiniest morsel.
That, I never doubted.
This homeless camp is actually part of Sunhee's information network. They call that man their chief, and his friends all over town are always coming to him with new stories. Security cams can't catch everything. That's why you can't underestimate word of mouth.
Sorry for keeping you. We owe the chief a lot, so I just wanted to check in on him.
No worries. Come on, let's go, Kiryu-san.
Hey, hold on there, Psycho.
Is something the matter, Chief?
The man's called Suzuki-san, no? You ought to be more careful.
Right, of course.
It's tiring, leading a life without being seen. This place is full of folks walking that same path. Your hardships remind me of my own. Taichi, Suzuki-san.
Seems we both have it rough, don't we?
Well, I'm sure it's rougher on you. I hear you were once quite infamous. Unlike myself, nobody ever cared whether I lived or died.
I'm sure that's not true.
Believe me, it is. And if you need convincing, I've got plenty of past left untold.
Sorry, Chief, but Suzuki-san might be a little busy right now.
That's so. Then I won't hold you here any longer.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I just didn't know how long he might have kept us.
That was rather odd, though. Wonder what's gotten into him.
What do you mean?
The people here never talk about themselves, especially their past. Even I don't know the chief's background. Considering he's the one who started the conversation, maybe he feels a connection with you, Kiryu-san.
We both live in the shadows, after all.
Let's wrap shit up!
100 yen store the other day, and I noticed things were getting kind of pricey. I took a closer look, and it turned out there were some 200 yen items mixed in.
Oh yeah, that's how they get you. Nothing more embarrassing than coming up short in the register.
I'm not that down and out, you know.
So? Did you sue the store or what?
What? No, that would be insane. It would have been on me for not looking. Plus, 200 yen stuff's typically better quality, so the glue gun set I picked up was more than worth it.
Gotta love a nice glue gun. I use mine all the time for DIY stuff.
She really got your attention with that, huh?
I'm sorry, did you say glue gun?
It's a hot glue dispenser shaped like a gun. You use it for crafts and hobbies and junk.
Don't know why you need a gun for that, but all right. You'll have to show me sometime, Psycho.
And another do-it-yourselfer is born.
Seems like the chief went through a lot before he ended up here. I'm thinking he was ready to tell me some of it. One of the men in the photo must have been him in his younger days. I wonder, should I ask him about it? Chief, about that photo you showed us. Who was that person with you?
Oh, him. That was my old boss. We used to work at the local factory. Must have been about 10, 20 years ago. Might as well be ancient history now.
Back when the sun shined a little brighter for you, you mean?
Something like that. We've been trudging along a dark and thorny path, you and I. If only we had done a single thing different. Maybe we'd be walking with our heads held a little higher. Yet, here we are now. Somehow in each other's company. An odd, once-in-a-lifetime encounter. Anyway, one on the right's me, on the left was my boss. We called him Captain down at the factory. When I started working after high school, he was the one showing me the ropes.
If you've been working straight out of high school, you must have worked a long time.
I may not look the part now, but I was once a master mechanic. Couldn't be beat. But when automation took over the industry, it became apparent that my work was unnecessary. Eventually, they stopped hiring younger folk. We knew for years the number of applicants was tapering off. Not that there was anything I could do about it. The skills I spent a lifetime honing could be executed a dozen times faster by robots. Naturally, the company moved forward with plans to restructure, and Cap himself had the honor of giving me the boot.
That must have been hard. For you and the captain.
Cap, well, he and I were like family. But if he didn't fire me, then he'd be the one out on the streets. That left him with only one option, to hand me my dismissal. At that time, I was almost 50. I thought my whole life was over. But then, he said that he'd quit with me, that he'd look after me.
He did that for you?
Wasn't like he had any job security either. Our jobs were destined to disappear. I was merely the first in line. So, we walked out the door one final time, side by side. And sure enough, the place was shuttered soon after. After so many years of service, the severance pay was peanuts. At least we didn't have any families to feed.
And that's how you ended up homeless?
Yeah, that's when I started to camp here. Had I been alone, I would have died a dog's death real fast. Cap was a lot smarter than me. The man took to his new lifestyle quickly. Occasionally, there'd be folks harassing us, but he'd take the lead and fight back. Everyone around him started to trust him, and eventually, he inherited the title of chief.
So you can only become chief through succession.
That's right. It's a practice that's lasted generations. There have even been times when folks from the underground would make us do them favors in exchange for protection. And Cap Stout-hearted man that he was, didn't flinch. As chief, he'd do anything to protect us. He continued to shoulder the burden all by himself, till his body gave out. He didn't bother seeing a doctor, but I bet he knew he had late-stage cancer.
Since you're the chief now, that means he...
I called out for him one morning about 7, 8 years ago, but he was dead in his tent. I think it was the most peaceful I've ever seen him, and maybe it was. Because he could finally set aside the heavy burden that had been weighing him down. Me.
And that's why you took on his role? To start paying it forward?
Exactly. The entire time he was with me, I never took responsibility for anything. And now, at my ripe old age, I finally get a taste of the constant pressure he was under.
Chief.
Nobody's filled me in on why you were forced into hiding, going as far as erasing your name. But I've heard you're not taking care of your illness, even though you're still giving Kasuga aid. A lot like what Cap did with me.
Something like that, yeah.
If you find that living is no longer worthwhile, the final call is yours. There's no law saying you gotta see a doctor if you're sick. However, if by any chance you change your mind, you can always come back here. You're welcome to stay at the camp for as long as I'm chief. I never got the chance to repay Cap's kindness, but I figure helping people like you is a step in the right direction.
Well, I appreciate the thought, but I can't accept your offer right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm aware. You still got business to take care of, don't you? At any rate, I'm glad I got to speak with you, Suzuki-san. And sorry for making you listen to such an old story.
No need to apologize. I learned a lot from your story. Thanks for sharing, Chief.
いらっしゃいませ。ありがとうございました。
Good you're here, Kiryu. Ready? Round trip to Kamurocho and back? Have everything you need?
Yeah, let's go.
Straight over to Stardust. Kazuki and Yuya are both working there today. Hope you're prepared for this. We're giving that bucket list some weight to it. And there it is, Kamurocho's prevailing host club, Stardust.
Prevailing, huh? They've come a long way, I suppose.
Obviously, the Jingon occupation brought some drastic changes a while back. Now it's returned to its more traditional roots, so to speak. That Kazuki boy's always had a vision.
You're not kidding. That's not just traditional. It's downright nostalgic.
Huh?
Yuya.
Huh. Honestly, things never change. Right in the middle of the street.
Like I give a shit who you're with. The Tojo clan couldn't even get protection money from us. Get out of here. Don't come back again.
You're freaking dead! We're gonna ruin this joint!
That the best you got for me? Real Kamurocho natives sneeze better threats. Let me teach you. Never screw with the big boys.
Hey, isn't that... Oh, my gosh! Kazuki-san!
He's the coolest! And Yuya-san's here too! Oh, I'm ascending.
Nicely done, Yuya. You're as fearless as the day I met you.
Kazuki-san. I'll cover the outside. You worry about business on the inside.
You know how boring it is without you in there? Come. There's always more to do.
On it.
Wow! So chic!
Stardust! I want to marry this place!
Seems as popular as ever, huh?
I suppose so. I appreciate you helping me get one last look at them.
Let's slow down. Hey, that was the owner just now, right? Hell of a show.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it?
Those crooks were looking for protection money. Amazing how you all beat them back. And by the looks of it, business is booming for you boys.
Suppose so. We're, pretty old-fashioned as host clubs go. Our competitors like to say we're behind the times. But Kazuki-san's a great boss, and with him in charge again, we're all eager to work here. The fact that he still pulls in such young fans is especially motivating. Us young bloods have to keep up.
I'm glad to see people still admire Kazuki and Yuya.
That'll never change. They've always been a different breed. And Kamurocho fixtures for decades. Most people have forgotten by now, but the Jingon Mafia took this place some time ago. They had money, weapons, people. Things got really rough for a bit.
The Jingon used Stardust to launch their Kamurocho expansion. It was a smart play.
Oh, mister, you know your stuff. Have you heard the entire history behind it all? As to why the Jingon was targeting Kamurocho in the first place, I mean. You see, the Korean Mafia was beaten, badly, by Tojo clan Yakuza back in the 80s. Meaning, no offense, you two look like you might have been around back then. Do you know about the Dragon of Dojima?
Yep, I've heard the name before at least.
I figured. No one who knows anything about Kamurocho wouldn't know Kazuma Kiryu, after all. Yeah, Kiryu-san was a legend who kicked the Jingon out almost single-handedly. Kazuki-san and Yuya, though, had the misfortune of being his friends. So, when the Jingon Mafia finally came back, they went straight for Stardust and Retribution. You could say Kazuki-san was just another victim of Kazuma Kiryu's legacy of violence.
Huh. Not exactly sure that's accurate. You know?
Don't you think? I gotta say, this city's story has always been about honest people paying for the underground sins. At least the Jingon are dead and buried now, anyway. Kiryu-san too, so I've been told. And with all of them gone, it fell to Kazuki-san to rebuild on his own. It kills me to think of him having to bow his head to every moneylender in town. If those criminals could hear me from hell, especially Kiryu, I'd have some words for him.
I see. Fair enough. I'd say you've got a point.
Hey!
Thanks for your time. Hope we didn't bother you.
No, of course not. No bother at all, sirs.
Hey, where are you going? This isn't what we came for. Kazuki and Yuya are coming to Serena in a little while.
Don't tell me you invited them there.
I'm not saying you have to reveal yourself. It's just a chance to hear them, see how they're really doing.
No. I saw for myself they're doing well. And I've heard enough.
Oh, come on, don't say that. I promise you, whatever that toddler of a host said, Kazuki and Yuya don't agree with him. I've never heard them utter one word of resentment.
Even still,
Honestly, just come upstairs. What's a Kamurocho trip without revisiting this place anyway? Think of it as part of the tour.